What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the new information that's come out about Modern Warfare 2. It's not officially called that yet, but we're pretty sure that's what it's going to be called, which is the next game coming out in the COD series, as well as Warzone 2. We got a bunch more information about that. They had a call with all the content creators yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't get invited to that, but I'm sure I will be eventually. I'm just pretty new to the scene, so I think that's why I'm not involved in that yet. But anyway, you've probably seen some of those videos already. There's been a lot of videos by other creators about this. They released them at 10 a.m. Pacific time this morning. So I've watched some of those. So I'm going to disseminate some of that information to you guys, and then also talk about some of the big updates to Warzone that are coming with Season 2. They've really taken a lot of community feedback and finally implemented a lot of the things we've been asking for since like literally the beginning of the game. So I'm very excited to be going over this, and let's jump into it, and we will talk about all the changes coming to Season 2, as well as information we got about Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2. Today's video is sponsored by True Game Data Premium. So we've finally released the update that has all of the stacking damage modifying attachments for the Vanguard guns. I want to quickly go over what you get with Premium. You get full ad removal across the website. You get a recoil plot generator. Premium profile. This means you can save as many attachments or as many guns with different builds as you want. Name them, give them specific roles, things like that. Pretty soon those are going to be linked to a Twitch account, so you can just do !, gun name, and you'll get the information from your True Game Data profile pulled directly onto your Twitch account. That'll be pretty cool if you're a streamer. Damage per mag charts. This shows you how much damage each magazine can do at any given range. It's a chart. Shot to kill calculator. This is really powerful. This is something where you can say, if I hit him in the chest with all my shots, how many shots on the head does it take to reduce that TTK, or how many shots on the neck, or how many shots on the stomach does it take to make that TTK worse? It's a really powerful tool that can show you all those things. Advanced TTK, DPS, and damage per mag charts. This allows you to select percentages of shot locations like 15% headshot, 5% neck shot, 35% chest shot, etc., all the way up when you add up to 100%, and it'll generate a real accurate TTK based on the number of shots, percentages that you hit in those shot locations. Same for damage per second and damage per mag. You can do the same shot location percentages. And now we also have the new feature where it'll show you the stacking damage modifying attachments. So say we select, let's do the STG. So I'll scroll down, I'll select the STG, I'll go to the next page. If I select attachments that actually change the damage profile, this is the new damage table and TTK DPS table that we've added for this update. So let me add the Gurenko magazine, and let me add hollow point so you can see how this works. So we've got two attachments that modify damage. They show up in this table now, and it shows you exactly in each damage range how much that changes the damage. So the Gurenko reduces headshots by 5 in the first damage range, every body shot by 3. Hollow point does 3 on upper leg, 2 on lower leg, 3 on upper arm, 2 on lower arm. Also shows you the RPM changes, and you can also change this to TTK. You can change it to DPS. You can change it to shots to kill. It'll show you how this affects every single stat. So this is huge. We finally can get a grip on how all these Vanguard guns work. I worked ridiculously hard on this, so if you want to support True Game Data, the best way to do that is to subscribe to True Game Data Premium, and you get all these awesome features with that. All right, so like I said, they've finally implemented some of the quality of life things that we've been asking for literally since Warzone came out, which is 23 months ago. So I'm going to go through some of those now. So they say they've improved all forms of movement, vehicle handling, parachutes deploying at a lower vertical height. This is something that I don't know if everyone's noticed, but there's some cases where if you're a certain distance from the ground, your parachute will not deploy for some reason. So hopefully this stops the breaking of legs. And you should really just be able to cut your chute anytime. For some reason, they're like limited sometimes, and you just can't cut your chute if you're a certain distance from the ground. That's very annoying. We'll see how that plays out. It says increase player mantle height, collision fixes for vehicles and players. I hope that with the mantle changes that they've talked about, that this means that it'll be easier to get through windows and things now. We'll see. Obviously, I don't go in super detail here, but we just know that they've been working really hard on quality of life improvements. Next up, we have the gas mask animation no longer interrupts operators who are aiming down sight. This is something that literally the entire community has been asking for since Warzone released. It's been super annoying to be killed when you have your gas mask coming on and coming off. The argument that some people had was, well, it's supposed to be punishing to play in the gas. Well, I'm pretty sure, you know, you can only last in the gas for a little while anyway, and you start coughing as soon as your gas mask breaks. It's not fun for anybody to not be able to shoot and not be able to aim down sight when you're pulling your gas mask on and off. It's just something that The community's been asking for forever, so they're finally doing that, and that's great. Another thing community's been asking for forever is when inserting armor plates, it refills a full plate of armor before filling the damaged ones. So this didn't make sense. If you had 10 damage done to your second plate of your 3 plates, if you put a new plate in, it would replace that one that only had 10 damage done to it, rather than putting it in the completely empty broken slot and giving you 50 full health. So this is going to be super, super nice for situations where you need to replate, and it's just small quality of life improvement that really could make a really big difference in how the game actually plays. And then they say, in addition to fixing bugs and issues in season two, we're addressing several issues, including the following ones. So performance and streaming issues, buy station freezes, voice chat connectivity, distorted graphics across all platforms. Hopefully this means that console is finally going to be playable and you guys can start enjoying the game again, because Caldera really is a good map. It's different, and there's a lot of people that don't like it compared to Verdansk, but overall it's a really good map. So hopefully season 2 brings all of these fixes in and allows, you know, console players to actually get back and play the game again. Specific operator scans being invisible at certain distances. I haven't been playing very much recently because I've been working so much, so I haven't noticed this. I know this happened for a while with some of them, but I haven't noticed this recently. And then it says blockages to Modern Warfare multiplayer, which is tied to Warzone launcher. So I've heard about this, where for console players, some people couldn't even launch Modern Warfare anymore for no apparent reason. So overall, this is awesome to hear. This is such a nice, positive thing for Warzone. Just these simple little things. We've been saying this forever, that Warzone could be the best BR ever, like no question, if they did just some simple things, some simple fixes, and it looks like they're finally taking that feedback and finally implementing some of it. So that is awesome to hear. So a quick note on FOV sliders for console. They finally admitted that they've heard the community feedback on this, and they would like to add one, but they say that there's too much of a performance hit on the older consoles. I've found that for some reason it's completely backwards from logic, that when you turn down the FOV on my PC, you get more frames. So we're going to jump in and I'll show you that and actually prove it to you that I get more frames at 120 FOV than I do at 80 FOV, but I'm not saying that what they're saying is a lie. I'm saying that for my system, which is the absolute max spec PC you can get, for some reason that happens. There's a chance that there's a different bottleneck on console, especially the older consoles. They're completely different kind of systems than what I have. So there's a chance that it wouldn't work that way on an older console is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think they're lying. I think I'm pretty sure that's the truth. It's just different for PCs and different for powerful PCs. But let's jump in and I'll show you guys the actual example of how FOV affects my FPS on my super powerful PC. All right, so just a really quick demonstration of how I've actually found that lower FOV on my system leads to higher FPS. I'm just standing over here next to airfield by some buildings. This is not an odd spot to stand at all. I mean, it's a normal looking area. It's not like I'm looking at the sky. It's not like I'm looking out into the ocean. Normal part of the map. I've tested this in multiple areas and it's consistent everywhere. But if you look at my FPS right now, it's bouncing between about 183 to 190. Generally closer to 190 consistently, 187 to 190. Every now and then you'll see a dip down to like 183, but in general it's probably averaging like 189. This is 120 FOV, so now I'm going to pop down to 80 FOV, not move at all. Same exact spot, and you're going to see this is lower now. So now I'm averaging about 181, 182. So that's about 8 or 9 FPS less than I was averaging on 120 FOV, and this is a consistent thing I've noticed everywhere I've tested it. I don't know what causes this. The only thing that makes sense is that when you have a lower FOV, perhaps it's like more zoomed in. So the game is rendering textures at a higher resolution. So that makes it take a performance hit, even though there's less on the screen. It's just really counterintuitive though. I literally tested this originally because I wanted to give console players a reason that they didn't have it. And then I found the opposite of what I was expecting. So let's go back to 120 so you guys can see. Again, I haven't changed anything. So we're back to 120 FOV. And now my average FPS again is back up at 190, 191. With occasional dips down to 183, but it never goes below 183, and the average is about 8 or 9 FPS higher than it was on 80 FOV. Alright, now let's talk about Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2. I'm not going to go into crazy detail into this because, like I said, I wasn't on the call. If you want to see exactly what was talked about with all the content creators, I would go watch JGod's video. I would go watch pretty much any of the other content creators that were at this actual call, so you can get the real information from them. I don't want to just take their information and spew it to you, but I will talk about what I know. So the next year's Call of Duty is going to be a sequel to Modern Warfare. That's why everyone keeps calling it Modern Warfare 2. They haven't for sure said that the name of the game is Modern Warfare 2. We will see. but it is a sequel to Modern Warfare, which is good. Modern Warfare got a lot of hate from a lot of people, but if you look at the last few CODs, in my opinion, it was the best of the last three, for a lot of different reasons. I know that's extremely controversial, but in my opinion, Modern Warfare, especially the weapon design is the thing I focus on. The weapon design in Modern Warfare was excellent. The way they balanced things out was extremely well done in terms of attachments and, you know, just base weapons. There was so much more thought and so much more like personality to the weapons in Modern Warfare. So I'm excited that it's a sequel to Modern Warfare. Maybe we'll get that same sort of weapon design again. The new game and a new Warzone experience are designed together from the ground up. So Warzone originally was not really developed to be as successful and huge as it was. It exploded for a bunch of different reasons. One, the idea of the game was great. It was a lot of fun to play. Pandemic happened at the same time, so people were at home looking for things to do. That made Warzone huge, absolutely huge for a while. And it just wasn't originally designed with that in mind. They didn't expect it to be what it was, have the level of success that it had. So this is a super exciting line, and that is that the new Warzone experience, Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2, are designed from the ground up. This is not an expansion of Warzone 1. This is not taking the same engine that Warzone is on and just, you know, having updates for it like we've gotten up until now. This is a completely new, from the ground up, redesigned game, and that could be huge. That means that a lot of the little issues we have with Warzone could potentially be fixed, and it might be less of like a spaghetti code kind of situation, which is what it feels like in Warzone sometimes, because there's some things that would seemingly be easy to fix that just go forever without being fixed. So hopefully this means all of those things will be better with this new ground up experience. They've talked about how they're going to bring in some really unique new modes to Warzone. Again, we don't have details on this, but there's some really new interesting modes, like a sandbox mode, as well as a bunch of other modes that they mentioned in the call. But I'm not going to go into that because I wasn't actually there. This is all on a new engine as well, so that's kind of what I was saying. Is it's a ground up developed game with a new engine, and that's extremely exciting, I think, for everyone that enjoys Warzone and has always, you know, played Warzone from the start. And another good note is that both the new Call of Duty and Warzone are being led by Infinity Ward. There's multiple studios working on it, but Infinity Ward has a really good track record of developing good Call of Duty games, and the fact that they are leading up the team on Warzone's obviously what I care about. I don't really play multiplayer, even if it's a good multiplayer game. I'm not really interested in multiplayer anymore. I just play BR games. So like the fact that Warzone's being led by Infinity Ward is great news to me. All right, guys, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Again, I'm not going into super detail because I wasn't on the call and I don't feel like just stealing other people's videos, like the stuff they talk about in their videos. So go watch Jack Frags, JGod, all these other creators, get their actual insight from the call that they had. And that's really all I wanted to cover, just general information that I've learned about Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. I'm super, super excited for the future of Warzone. I love the fact that it's developed from the ground up on a new engine. I think that will be huge. Obviously, this engine had a lot of good things going for it, and I think they'll pull on those things that were good about it and develop a new engine that's not so buggy and has so many issues. And I'm optimistic. To sum it up, I'm very optimistic for the future of Call of Duty and Warzone. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.